We have warmer weather coming our way, and I've got an exciting new crochet project to show you. Join me and learn how to make the repeat pattern of the beautiful By the Beach wrap by Paintbox Yarns. Let's get started. I'm going to be showing you a little swatch of this amazing repeat pattern that includes the puff stitch, which are these here that create the 3D bubble texture effect, and some super simple stripe rows in between. The beach wrap pattern is an easy straight pattern with no increases or decreases, making it a great beginner friendly project. You'll also learn how to add these fun little tassels, and this should easily prepare you to make the whole beach wrap if you're keen to give it a go. I'll be crocheting in the new Cotton Mix DK by Paintbox Yarns with a 4mm hook. This is a gorgeous 50% acrylic, 50% cotton yarn mix, and there are 25 fabulous shades to choose from available exclusively on the Lovecrafts website right now. We've added a link for you in the description below alongside the free pattern of the beach wrap. I actually adore this blue I'm working with today. It almost has a sort of denim texture as it's not one solid blue color, which is so fab. It's machine washable on a cool wool wash cycle. The cotton makes it lightweight, breathable, and the acrylic adds a lovely softness to it. A great all-season yarn. Let's get started on our swatch. I'm going to start with a slip knot in color A, and the way I like to do this is to hold the yarn tail on my left hand and make a loop by bringing the working side of the yarn, just a small loop, by bringing it over that tail. And then to complete the slip knot, you're going to bring the working side of the yarn again under and up through that little loop, and you're going to pull it up to complete your slip knot. Then you can just attach it to your hook and pull the tail to close that slip knot. Now, if you're making the full beach wrap, the pattern will ask you to make 82 chains to start. You can go ahead and make those 82 chains and still follow along with the repeat pattern that I'll be demonstrating for you. For my swatch, I'm going to make 26 chains to start. So to make a chain, just yarn over the hook and pull through that loop. And that's one chain done. I need to make 26 of these. 2, 3, 4. My foundation chains are complete. If you're crocheting using US terms, like I am throughout this pattern, our first row will be in single crochets, which are double crochets in UK terms. So into the second chain from your hook, you're going to make your first single crochet. So put your hook through that chain, yarn over the hook, pull up a loop through that chain, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and there's your first single crochet. And again in the next chain, put your hook through that next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 2 single crochets. I'll show you that one more time. So hook through the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that's 3 single crochets. And I'm going to continue doing single crochets into every chain to finish that first row. Now we can turn our work to start the second row, and this is where we start the repeat pattern. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 4 chains counts as 1 US double crochet or a UK treble crochet plus 1 chain. And now we're going to skip 1 stitch So we're going to skip one stitch and make a puff stitch in the next stitch. So to do this, you're going to yarn over, put your hook through that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and just pull it up to the height of that double crochet that you just did, or the chains that count as a double crochet even. And you're going to do that again. So yarn over, keeping that height of the double crochet, put your hook through that same stitch, yarn over and bring up a loop, and make sure you pull it right up again to that same height. And one more time, yarn over, put your hook through that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, up to that same height again. And now that you've done that 3 times, you should have 7 loops on your hook. And you're going to yarn over and pull through all of those 7 loops. And there's your first puff stitch. And to complete and close that puff stitch, you're going to chain 1. And again, you're going to skip the next stitch and do another puff stitch in the next stitch. So yarn over, skip 1 stitch, put your hook through that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop up to that height of the other puff stitch, yarn over, put your hook again through that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop to the same height, and one more time, yarn over, put your hook through that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and again you should have 7 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all of those 7 loops to complete puff stitch number 2, and chain to close that puff stitch. So you're going to continue to skip 1 stitch, make a puff stitch in the next stitch, chain 1 until the end of the row, until you have 2 stitches left on that row. So I'm going to continue. Skip 1 stitch, puff stitch in the next. Skip 1 stitch, puff stitch in the next. I've completed my last puff stitch, and now to finish the row we're going to skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet in the very last stitch. So yarn over, put your hook through that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through last 2 loops. And there's your row 1 of the repeat pattern complete. And now we're going to change colors. And to do this, you're going to leave color A. You don't need to cut it off because you're going to use it in the next part of your repeat pattern. So to add color B, you can just attach a tail onto your hook and just pull that through the loop that's on your hook. And now just securely hold those ends, and turn your work. And we're ready to start row 2 of the repeat pattern. So for row 2 of your repeat pattern, you're going to simply single crochet in every stitch all the way across. And to do that, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as our first single crochet. And our first single crochet is going to go in this stitch here, which is the stitch above the last double crochet you did in the previous row. So you're going to put your hook through that stitch, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And that's your first single crochet done. Your next single crochet will go into this space here before the first puff stitch. So you're going to put your hook under, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there's your second single crochet. Now we need to do a single crochet in the next stitch, which is the stitch above the puff stitch, which is the chain that we did to close the puff stitch. So we're just going to put our hook through that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Our next single crochet will go in the next space. So yarn under that space, yarn over, not yarn, your hook even, under that space, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And you're literally going to continue to single crochet all the way across, making sure you single crochet in the stitch above your puff stitch, single crochet in the next space, single crochet in the next stitch above your puff stitch, single crochet in the next space, all the way across until you reach this space here. And I'll meet you back when you've reached this space. So I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch above the puff stitch, single crochet in the next space. So I've done my single crochet above my last puff stitch, and you'll remember that on the previous row we started it with 4 chains to represent 1 double crochet plus 1 extra chain. So here, to finish row 2 of the repeat pattern, we're going to single crochet into the space. So put your hook under that space, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So technically we did the single crochet under that extra chain from the 4 chains. Now we need to complete the row by doing a single crochet on the 3rd chain that we did. So 1, 2, 3, put your hook through that 3rd chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there's your row 2 complete of the repeat pattern. And now for row 3, we're going to change to color C. And again, using the same technique, we're just going to leave color B alone and not cut it off because we're going to use it later on for the repeat pattern. So again, we can attach color C onto the hook and just pull through the loop on your hook and hold those ends securely. Turn your work around and we're ready to do row 3 of the repeat pattern. And row 3 and the final row of the repeat pattern, you're literally just going to single crochet all the way across in every stitch until the very end. So to start, we're going to chain 1, and single crochet all the way across. So we're going to single crochet in this stitch. This is our very first stitch. We're going to single crochet in, put our hook through that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and there's your first single crochet done. And I'm going to literally single crochet in every stitch all the way to the end. My last single crochet, and there's my 3-row pattern repeat done. Now you're literally gonna repeat this pattern over and over again until you've achieved the length that you want. And to continue the pattern, so next you're gonna stitch the puff stitch row, and to start that row, because you've already used colour A, you can just pick that stitch up, wrap it around the hook, and simply pull through the loop that's on your hook. And again, leave colour C, which is the white, later on to use. And then you can just turn your work and continue with the 3-row repeat pattern. I'm going to continue for a few more rows and I'll meet you back here when I'm done. So there's a few more rows of my repeat pattern complete. Now I'm just going to cut off these other yarn colours that are attached. Just the white and the light blue. You'll notice I finished my pattern with a puff stitch row. This is because we want both our ends of the beach wrap to be mirrored. This means I need to end my pattern with a single crochet row in the same colour A. So to do that, I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to chain 1 and continue to single crochet all the way across until the end. And my last 2 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then I can simply finish off, yarn over, and pull through the loop. Now you're going to want to learn how to add tassels to the edges of your beach wrap. Each tassel is made with 3 strands of the colour A yarn that measures 30 centimeters long. I've pre-cut mine, as you can see here on the side. And I'm going to take 3 strands and I'm going to fold them in half and make a loop with my finger like that. And to attach your tassel, you're going to take your crochet hook and put it through the first chain in your foundation chain. You're going to attach the loop that's on your finger onto the hook and you're going to pull it through the foundation chain. And then you can just remove your crochet hook for now. And you're going to put through these ends through that loop. And then you can just pull to finish your first tassel. And you're gonna repeat this all the way along your edge, and you're going to do it. You're going to miss 7 chains and add another tassel on the 8th chain. Miss 7 chains, add another tassel on the 8th chain until the very end in your very last chain in your foundation chain. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to take 3 strands, fold it in half and make a loop. Take my crochet hook and count 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to add my tassel on the 8th chain. So just pull the loop up that chain, and then put all these yarn ends through that loop and pull to complete my 2nd tassel. I'm going to continue along the edge. For my last tassel, and there you are. Then you can just repeat that on the other edge of your beach wrap so it mirrors. And all that's left is to weave in all these little ends. So you can just turn to the back and thread your tapestry needle with one of the ends, and you can simply just go back through your stitches through a few of those stitches and just pull that end through and just trim. And that's that. We've covered all the basics to help you crochet the fabulous By the Beach wrap by Paintbox Yarns. Time to wrap yourself in these amazing soothing stitches. There are so many color possibilities when it comes to this pattern. Will you be crocheting in rainbow stripes, or do you prefer to keep it simple? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to us for lots more crafting fun. Happy crocheting!